What I'd like us to explore next is a little bit around some of the leadership aspects. So, as CEO, well, let me ask you, as CEO, is it your role to lead the transformation, or is it someone on your executive team, or someone outside the company, or where does the leadership for transformation responsibility lie, would you say?
Well, the responsibility is very easy. That lies on the CEO as such. Always, that's part of your role. However, it depends actually what type of transformation it is. And I mean, it could be a product development, which is critical. Then it's delegated, but you're still responsible for making sure there's the correct number of resources, integration with marketing and sales and whatever it may be. So you cannot escape, but clearly you can delegate a lot of it. And the best thing is if you can have your champions on different areas. That's the way I believe it is.
Great. And I think the other key thing which you've mentioned already is that really without a great organization, everything organization, the transformation is really not going to succeed. So just thinking about the example you shared earlier, what if you were giving us a kind of a number out of 10, how fit, if you like, was the organization for transformation?
Well, if we move back to that situation where we got in an external CEO, at that time we were 2,000 employees, and I was not the only one leaving that boat when that happened. 3-4 years later, that company was 350 people left. Mm-hmm. So unless you have the people with you, unless you choose your right people to make that transformation, it will not happen. I mean, it is, well, what should I say from an English, it's a hard handshake with the team you're actually going to make that transformation with. Everybody has to go in and be part of the crew in that boat crossing, whatever it is, if it's the Atlantic or if it's the problems which has arisen, or what you are to achieve.
But if you don't get the organization right, you're not going to cross the Atlantic. Is that your assumption?
No, it is a tough one, and that is also part of your role as a CEO, making sure there's a team, and of course together, sometimes with the board of directors. Depending on what type of question it is. But you have to have the team to make transformation happen. It does not come out of itself. Mm. What is interesting, though, which is a good reflection point, I've had once upon a time a CEO who did not take really any decisions. And I was working as a CEO in one of the subsidiaries at the time. And what you also see, by not taking a decision, there will still come decisions, but it comes from the organization instead. And as a CEO, it's not always easy to know what decision to take in certain situations. That could be tough product development situations and so on, which goes into the future. And sometimes by waiting out, you will see initiatives coming from other parts of an organization, and then they can be brought up as an example to be rolled out in a group. Mm. So it's an interesting realization that you don't always have to drive for the decisions as such, because there could be multiple ways, and sometimes better let it take a time. The solutions will come anyhow.
Yeah, Great. What a great example. And thinking about something you mentioned before about the talent in the organization. So how important is it to have the right talent when you're leading a transformation? And I'm thinking of Stephen Covey here. Didn't he say, you know, get the right people on the bus, but also get the wrong people off the bus? Is that something you would ascribe to?
Yes, I mean, we all know that in organizations where there are changes, there's always a bunch of people sitting, waiting for it to roll over.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes back to the old times. And that should not happen if you are to make a transformation. So yes, sometimes you have to make those changes. You have to take out to make it has happened several times. You can actually take out part of an organization, and because it can be handled in another way instead, just by rethinking the way things have been done as such. So yes, the answer is yes to that. It goes both getting the right people in or on. If possible, I always prefer to do the internal recruitment. But it's also about getting the guys and girls who are not supporting, make them find a new journey.
Mm-hmm. And that maybe plays a little bit to what you discussed before about the importance of culture. I think you talked about sales culture in the organization that you mentioned.